Welcome to our English podcast. Let's practice speaking together.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Just Speak English podcast. I'm Chase.
And I'm Hailey. So glad you're here with us today.
Today's topic is one that I think hits really close to home for a lot of people, making friends as an adult. It's hard enough in your own language. Add a second language on top of that, and it can feel almost impossible.
Exactly. School made friendship easy. You were just placed in a room with the same people every day for years. Adulthood doesn't work that way. You have to actually build it on purpose. And doing that in English adds a whole extra layer.
So today we're talking about why it's so hard and giving you real phrases and strategies to actually make it happen. Subscribe if you're new here, and let's get into it.
5 words and phrases for today.
First, acquaintance. An acquaintance is someone you know a little, but not closely. Not quite a friend yet. He's more of an acquaintance than a close friend. We've only hung out a couple of times.
Second, hit it off. To hit it off with someone means to immediately get along well and connect easily. We met at a coffee shop and just hit it off. We talked for 2 hours.
Third, reach out. To reach out means to contact someone, often to start or maintain a connection. And haven't talked to her in a while. I should reach out and see how she's doing.
Fourth, in the same boat. This expression means being in a similar situation as someone else, often a difficult one. Don't worry, you're not the only one feeling lonely here. We're all in the same boat.
And fifth, show up. To show up means to actually be present and consistent, physically attending things, not just intending to. Making friends isn't complicated. You just have to show up consistently. Okay, acquaintance, hit it off, reach out in the same boat. Show up. Let's go.
Chase, why do you think making friends as an adult is so much harder than it was when we were kids?
I think it comes down to structure. As kids, friendship happens by accident. You're in the same class, the same team, the same neighborhood every single day. As adults, that automatic repetition disappears. You have to create the repetition yourself, on purpose, and that takes effort most people aren't used to putting in.
That's such a good way to put it. And I think there's an extra layer of fear, too. As adults, we're more aware of rejection. As kids, you just walked up to someone and said, "Do you want to be friends?" As adults, that same directness feels terrifying, even though it would probably still work.
It really would. And I think a lot of people, especially when they're also navigating a new language, feel like they need to be perfectly fluent before they can even attempt to build friendships. But that's backwards. Friendships are actually one of the best ways to become fluent, not something you wait for fluency to deserve.
Exactly. So let's get practical. Where do people actually find opportunities to meet others, especially in a new country or a new language?
Shared activities are the best starting point, honestly. Language exchange meetups, hobby groups, sports clubs, volunteer organizations. The key is finding something built around a shared interest because the activity gives you something to talk about. You're not just standing there trying to make conversation from nothing.
That's such an important detail. Conversation flows naturally when there's a shared context. How long have you been doing this? Or what got you into this? Are easy, natural openers in any activity-based setting.
And once you meet someone you click with, what's the actual next step? Because I think a lot of people meet someone great once and then nothing happens. The friendship just doesn't develop.
This is exactly where reach out becomes essential. After a good interaction, you have to be the one to follow up. It was great talking to you. Do you want to grab coffee sometime? Or simply exchanging numbers and saying, I'll text you about that thing we talked about. Most friendships die not because people don't like each other, but because nobody took that small extra step.
That's so true, and I think it helps to reframe that step. It's not weird or desperate to reach out first. It's actually generous. You're giving the other person an easy yes. Most people are just as nervous as you are, and just as relieved when someone else makes the first move.
That's such a relief to hear, honestly. I used to think reaching out first made me seem too eager.
Everyone thinks that about themselves, which is exactly why almost nobody does it. And that's exactly why it stands out when someone does.
So, what about the actual language part? Once you're in a real conversation in English with someone you're trying to befriend, what makes it go well versus awkwardly?
I think the biggest thing is curiosity. Ask questions and actually listen to the answers instead of waiting for your turn to talk. People remember how you made them feel far more than they remember your grammar. If someone leaves a conversation feeling genuinely heard, they'll want to talk to you again, regardless of a few mistakes you made along the way.
That's such an important reframe. We spend so much energy worrying about sounding perfect, when really, the thing that builds friendship is attention, not perfection. Nobody has ever ended a friendship because of a grammar mistake.
And aid add. Don't be afraid to be honest about the language barrier itself. Saying something like, "Sorry, I'm still working on my English. Can you say that again?" isn't embarrassing. Most people respond to that with patience and even more warmth, not judgment.
Completely agree. And here's something else worth mentioning: loneliness as an adult, especially when you've moved somewhere new, is incredibly common. If you're struggling with it, you are genuinely in the same boat as so many other people, even if it doesn't feel that way sitting alone in a new apartment.
That phrase really matters. In the same boat. Because isolation convinces you that you're the only one struggling. When really, almost everyone who has moved somewhere new or started over has felt exactly the same thing at some point.
So if you take one thing from today, let it be this: making friends as an adult isn't about finding the perfect magical connection. It's about consistently showing up, reaching out first, even when it feels uncomfortable, and trusting that imperfect English with genuine curiosity will always beat perfect English with no real interest in the other person.
And the friendships you build in your second language often end up meaning even more because they remind you that real connection was never really about the words. It was always about showing up.
Can I add one more practical thing? Because I think people underestimate how long real friendship actually takes to build, and that mismatch in expectations causes a lot of unnecessary discouragement.
Oh, definitely. There's actually research suggesting it takes something like 50 hours of time together to go from acquaintance to casual friend, and well over 100 hours to become close friends. So if you meet someone once and it's not instant best friend chemistry, that doesn't mean it failed. That's just the very beginning of a process that takes real time.
That number is honestly so freeing to hear. It removes the pressure of feeling like every interaction has to be magical. You're not failing if the third coffee still feels a little awkward. That's just how long it actually takes for comfort to build between two people.
Exactly. And I think that's especially true across a language barrier. The first few conversations might feel effortful, a bit slower, maybe a little clumsy, but that effort compounds. Every conversation makes the next one a little easier, a little more natural, until one day you realize you're not translating anymore. You're just talking.
And honestly, that's such a beautiful side effect of trying to make friends in English. You're not just building a friendship, you're building fluency at the exact same time, almost without noticing it happening.
I think that's the real secret here. People treat language learning and relationship building as two separate goals. Study English, then make friends. But they're actually the same process. The friendships are the fluency. They were never two different things to begin with.
Quick vocab recap. Acquaintance. Someone you know a little but not closely yet. Hit it off. To immediately get along well with someone, reach out. To contact someone to start or maintain a connection. In the same boat, being in a similar situation as someone else. And show up. Being consistently present, not just intending to be.
And the big idea from today, friendship as an adult requires intention. Find shared activities, reach out first, lead with curiosity, and remember, you're in the same boat as more people than you think.
Comment below. What's one thing that's made it hard for you to make friends, in English or otherwise? We'd love to hear your story, and you might help someone else feel less alone in it.
Next episode, we're going somewhere a little different. Stay tuned for that one.
Thank you so much for listening to this one. Subscribe if you haven't yet. It really helps us keep going. See you in the next one.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.